Today, you're going to get your sales knowledge tested. It's going to be a pop quiz. Are you ready for it? I'm going to give you some actual situations and see if you could figure out what you do. Since we don't want to have dead air space, this is going to be an open book test because I will give you the answers. And remember this, knowledge in sales is only 25% of the equation. 70% is what you do with that knowledge, how you execute and how you implement. It's about the technique. Influence in sales, in communication in general, it's only 7% words. That's right, 7% the words you use. It's 38% tone, inflection, pauses, and 55% body language. So your words are important, but not as important as your tone, and your body language is most important. Remember that. This is what has helped me and my clients more than anything else. Getting into a situation you don't expect, because every time you go into a meeting with a client, guess what? They're not going to show up and do the things that you thought that they would do. They're going to mess things up and they're going to go out of order and they're not going to answer some questions, or they're going to throw you something or a wrench in the works, or it's going to muck things up. It's just part of the beauty of sales. And it's fun if you approach it knowing that you're serving them, not trying to sell them. It's about them, not you. It takes that huge heavy weight off your back and you can throw it away. So, if you're not following me, subscribe, comment below. By the way, I'll have a link to my LinkedIn profile in the comment below and my book, the B2B Blueprint to Predictable Sales. It will give you everything you need to set up a selling system that gives you a proven framework so you can identify, attract, and onboard clients predictably. Okay, so first situation I'm going to give you. This is real. This is a true situation. You're in a meeting, and it's a first meeting, and you're talking with the CEO. Congratulations, you got the decision maker in the meeting. You've gone a little bit long. The CEO, you're ending the conversation. The CEO notices that it's long. He's like, hey, John, okay, I got to get going. Follow up with me. How do you handle that? What do you do? Well, I would follow up with him. He hasn't left the meeting yet. This is so important. So the principle and the concept here is always end a meeting with a meeting or clear next step. And let me define this because it's so important. I talk to so many salespeople and I'll say, did you get a clear next step? Did you end a meeting with a meeting? And they say, yeah, when's the meeting? Oh, next Friday. When? In the morning? In the morning, what time? Early? Call them back and get it. Or they'll say, yeah, we both agreed on 11 o'clock on next Tuesday. Okay. Did you send them the calendar invite and they accepted it? No. And because if you don't send them the calendar invite and they accept it, they could get busy. Your email could go to spam if you're following up. Even if you've agreed upon the time, you got to make sure to get these little details done before the conversation is through. So this guy says, I got to take off. Follow up with me. He's just about to click close a Zoom browser. So what do? You have to interrupt his pattern of thinking, and you have to go with the intention to serve, not sell. If you don't schedule a meeting right then and there, what's going to happen? You're going to follow up. He may not respond. So you follow up and then he responds and then you go back and forth. And now you're trying to get it. Now you're wasting his time and you're wasting your time. That is not serving your prospect. And ultimately you serve your prospect at the highest level when they become your client. So if you don't schedule a meeting before the meeting ends, then it can elongate the sales process and your chances of onboarding that client go lower and lower and lower. So this is what you do. This is what my client did because we went through training and we prepared for this. Being prepared for these things that you don't think will happen will dramatically change how you engage. Will take you to deeper, more meaningful conversations with your clients. You'll onboard more clients with a greater frequency in less time. So He said this. Whoa, 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 John, hey, before you leave, I know you're busy. I'm busy too. To save all of us time, let's get a time in our calendar right now. It's only going to take 45 seconds. He's like, okay. They scheduled a meeting. So what do? Get his attention. Whoa, you are the authority. Important right here. Here's you. Here's John, the prospect, the CEO. You are equals, but if you don't guide and direct the conversation as the authority, not authoritarian, the authority, and he does or she does, it will end up a mess. That's the mess principle. So always end a meeting with a meeting. Okay. Test situation 2. What would you do? Another true story. All right. Why am I talking like this? I have no idea. I feel like I'm on the game show. I love this story from Kim. Oh man. Kim's such a cool person. She came to me and she had a 11% closing percentage. That's right, 11%. I like to say onboarding because I'd rather onboard someone than close them because it's the beginning of a relationship. 11% onboarding percentage and a 6-month sales cycle. Way, way, way too long for what she was doing. She was getting taken advantage of. People were abusing her. And I'm not talking about physical abuse. I'm just talking about they would say, okay, yeah, okay, follow up with me, send the proposal. She was emailing a proposal. That's what she was doing. Never, ever, ever, ever. This is a bonus to the quiz, to the sales test, to your sales knowledge is never send a proposal. Always review it live. When you send a proposal, what are they going to do? They're going to go to the last page, look at the price, say, wow, wow. No, always review your proposal live. So Kim was live with the CEO, with the CFO, and I believe is another person that was in the C-level or like a VP of operations or something. And she presented her proposal to them. And the CEO, now she had worked with this organization on 4 separate occasions, and they were one of her previous clients who would abuse her and would take advantage of her. But Kim had prepared for the situation. We had talked, and on cue, just as she suspected, the CEO said, Kim, tell you what, we need to lower this price by 15%. And we need to take this out and we need to add this. If you do that, we're fine to move forward. And Kim paused, long silence. And she said, I don't think I'm going to be able to work with you. Long silence, longer than that. And the CEO said, what do you mean? And she addressed him by his first name and said, you've worked with me. You know that I provide quality, service, and solution, and I've helped you 4 different times. The price I put together is fair and it's the right price. And how I package this is so you can help with and she listed the ABC challenges you have and the obstacles that are stopping you right now from reaching your goal. So that you can actually reach your goal. You said this is important to you all. I put together something that was the right proposal. And so I don't think I'm going to be able to work with you if you're going to change all these different things, because it's going to destroy what I have, and I'm not going to be as effective, and it's not going to be able to help you go from here to here and go overcome the obstacles. The CEO looked at her, looked at some of the other people in the room, and said, Kim, can we call you back in 20 minutes? Kim said, yeah. She logged off of Zoom. 10 minutes later, guess what? The CEO emailed her and apologized. He apologized. Wow. Said, Kim, you know what? We appreciate working with you, and you're right. We're prepared to sign everything just as it is. And he apologized twice in that email. So really important here. What happened? Kim showed up, remember equals, but she showed up as an authority. And she went for no. She goes, I don't think I'm going to be able to work with you. That's also a pattern interrupt. It got their attention. And it wasn't something that this is a tactic and a technique. Yes, it is. But she did it from a sincerity of heart because she believed wholeheartedly if the solution wasn't the solution she put together, she knows this company, she served them 4 different times, she was not going to be able to serve them at the highest level. So being the authority, commanding respect, and going for no. By the way, with Kim, several months later, she had 11% closing percentage. Remember a 6-month sales cycle? Her sales cycle is down to 3 weeks. And her onboarding, remember onboarding is same as closing. I just like use the language better. Onboarding percentage went from 11 to 41%. Booyah. The biggest thing that changed for Kim was how she approached her clients. She didn't go there and like, okay, you want a discount? Okay, 10%, how about 11? No, she was bold. She knew she delivered value, which she did. And she showed up as the true professional, knowing that she could only serve and she only wanted to work with the clients who were willing to pay what she was worth. Is that amazing? Again, remember this, 7% words. This is influence, 38% tone, inflection, pauses, how you say the words, and 55% body language. That's what you have to remember when you're communicating, because your body communicates more than your words ever will. And the tone with the right body language and the right words, ooh, that is a powerful combination. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, test situation 3. How you doing so far? I know I've given you the answers. Okay, yeah, I like this. I love this story. I was working with 2 partners, and in our conversation, we had a session, and they said, Chaz, we're really excited. We're going to present to the CEO tomorrow. And it was for a high 8-figure client. Wait a second. Yeah, and that will be $99 million. No, it was a high 5-figure client, not 8-figure. That'd be nice, right? $99 million, a high 5-figure client. And they said, we're going to present to the CEO and we're excited. We believe we got this. And I said, okay. Now, really important principle here. If I didn't ask them a question, they probably would not have landed this client. Because I did ask this question, they were able to. It's because I was curious. Curiosity is probably one of the best, most important skill sets in addition to listening and understanding. Curiosity gives you the reason to ask the question and to understand. That is foundational. Childlike curiosity. You ever see Home Alone, the kid asking the guy who is in this van taking the people to the airport, how fast did this go? How many people did this hold? How many suitcases? You remember that? Have that childlike curiosity. It's where you'll learn. And so I asked them, I said, why are you proposing a solution to the CEO tomorrow? They said, well, we talked with 4 members on their team over the last 3 weeks. We probably spent about 6 hours with them. So curiosity, this is real important. I said, oh, okay. I said, did you talk to the CEO? They said, no. So do you understand what's happening here? They're presenting to the CEO tomorrow. They talked with his team members 6 hours over the last 3 weeks. So should they present to the CEO or not? And if not, why not? Because middle-level managers who they were talking to always see things differently than a CEO. So I told them this. I said, don't present to the CEO tomorrow. And they said, what you talking about, Willis? They actually didn't say that, but you understand what I'm saying. They said, why not? I said, because I guarantee the CEO has some different ideas of problems and obstacles that they face, and maybe even slightly a different goal in mind. I said, this is how you approach the CEO tomorrow. Don't cancel the meeting, keep the meeting. And before you start your conversation with the CEO, because he thinks and the team members think that you're going to present the solution, ask him this. Said, John, I can't remember what his name was. John, we were prepared to propose a solution to you today, but we were thinking about this. And I said, tell them all the time that you spent with this team so he knows. We spent 6 hours with your team members over the last 3 weeks, and they were great. They gave us a lot of great information. But we thought it probably would be good to ask you some questions just to see if there's anything different than what they told me. And he appreciated that. He said, no, please do. So they spent a half an hour of their hour meeting finding out about the CEO. And guess what? There were some parts that were similar with the CEO and the team members, but there were a couple points that were dramatically different with what the CEO, where he saw the challenges, the obstacles, and the goal that they wanted to go to. Dramatically different. So after that half hour, they scheduled a meeting to propose a solution a week later. And guess what? They onboarded that client. If they didn't onboard that client, they would have missed out on not the 8-figure opportunity, but the 5-figure opportunity. And that's why you want to make sure if you're talking with people, you get the decision maker into the conversation. When you understand how to do this, it's a skill set. Now, if you're working with a company of, $20 billion, you may not get the CEO in the meeting. But as many of the decision makers, stakeholders in the meeting, it's really important. Otherwise, you're not going to serve them at the highest level, because you're going to get some of the team members telling you some things, and then the stakeholders and decision makers, they will not give their 2 cents, and your proposal will miss the mark. If you are looking to onboard more clients in less time with a greater frequency, email me, subject line, sales, to Chaz Horn at chazhorn.com. That's my email, chazhorn at chazhorn.com. First, last name at first, last name, not Chaz.Horn, Chaz _ no, Chaz Horn at chazhorn.com. Put sales in the subject line. And what I'll do, this is something cool I do with my prospective clients. I will create a B2B sales blueprint that will show you the gaps in your current sales process, your marketing strategy, what you're losing because of these gaps and these friction points, what to do about it, so you can have more clients in less time with a greater frequency. Send me an email, reach out to me on LinkedIn, and remember, it's not sales knowledge, it's how you execute on what you know. Remember the 7, 38, and 55. You've got this.